Hey everyone, it's time for day 13 of Alone with You. Um, Last time we went to the plant place, found some flowers and some, I guess, research that Leslie was doing, and then we told her about her real dead self, and she seemed to handle it pretty okay. But yeah, I think we've taken care of our food situation, so there's that. Um, so yeah, now I think what we have left today is we get to go visit the communication tower where Winnie worked and probably find her dead body, just like everyone else's. But yeah, let's see how that goes. Corey says, "You've really had to deal with a lot recently. I'm afraid we must continue our work, however, so please come see me." Well, we come see you every day, Corey, but first things first, check the, wait a minute. Oh, I thought I couldn't get into the kitchen for a moment. But yeah, let's check the old status screen. Discovering what happened to Leslie wasn't easy, I know, but thankfully it didn't impede her work on the ship. In fact, she attacked her work with renewed vigor. Perhaps she sought some distraction, or the truth inspired her in a new way. She seemed to take something you said to heart, something about finding love. I don't know what that has to do with her work, though. It is fortunate that she has found new meaning in her work. The escape ship needs everyone at their best. I feel like that wasn't so much of a status update as it was just Corey talking about his opinions of stuff. Seems like we keep discovering nothing but bad news, but there is one more area you need to travel to. I've continued to monitor the planet's condition since we shut down the terraforming fields. I think it was the right choice. But I'm starting to pick up terrible readings from within the planet's core. Things are coming to a head now. There's no point waiting around today. Please just plot a course in the shuttle bay and let's do what we need to do. Down to business today, huh, Corey? Well, that's fine. I also like to get down to business to defeat the Huns. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? I'll spare you the whole rest of the song in not song form, because it's a much more enjoyable song when you're actually singing along to the real song. It's probably the best Disney song, though, is the "I'll Make a Man Out of You" from Mulan. Should have been reading that. The hub was badly damaged during the Rift event, but so I didn't think we should risk coming here, but Miss Laurier convinced me to change my mind. She told me of her idea to patch together another way to send out a broadcast. After finding this transmission, I thought we should at least try it. So I'd like you to check inside for the source of the signal and see if it'll help us get our distress message out. I want to look at that thing that's next to the van, but it won't let me. What do we got here? Bunch of wreckage looking stuff, and that's it. Actually, nope, can't look at that either. Guess we'll just go right inside. As I thought, the tower is in an extreme state of disrepair. I think the transmission is coming from one of the upper floors. So we can use the elevator or go to the main switching room. Let's go to the main switching room. We're already here. There's a maintenance hatch that we can't go into. And this cable column. Those modular columns allowed hot wiring and switching of various equipment and channels as operators dealt with shifting conditions. Looks like someone has done some creative rewiring inside. Nothing is quite where it should be, but somehow the wiring makes sense. So to open up this maintenance hatch, we have to remove the bolts on it. I'm guessing we need like a wrench or something. Or a bolt cutter. We'll see what we find. We can use the elevator to go up, and we will. Got some holes in the floor here. That's an OSHA violation. Can examine this rubble. The wall between those two rooms has collapsed, but there's definitely something on the other side. See if you can find a way to unlock the door that leads to the other room. I'm sure I will. Got some books here. Several books have been left to rot in the moisture that has overtaken that room. They are completely ruined. Those quarters were temporary lodgings for shift workers. Someone likely was using them until the room became compromised. That's it, huh? Break room is locked. I have to find an emergency override. Alright, let's keep looking. It's a pulley system. Very interesting. That looks like some kind of makeshift pulley system. Someone must have been trying to move heavy objects from this floor to the next. That's interesting. Why not just take them in the elevator? There's a workstation. The equipment has been completely destroyed by exposure to the elements. That's not good. More workstations. I don't think it's possible to get these stations back online again. They don't look that bad, but I'll take your word for it. So we can climb up this ladder to a security room. And it seems like that's about all we can do. So let's do it. That exposed data conduit is connected to the security system. If you pull it, you can disrupt the security system. You break the cable. Who needs security when we're the only living person on this planet? That drone has had its components thoroughly scavenged and removed. It is but a shell of its former self. Okay, so we have a catwalk we can go to, but we need a password. There's a note pasted beside it that says, I've had 3 so far. There must be a clue somewhere. Wonder what they've had 3 of. I've had 3 burritos so far, and I'm still hungry. Okay, so we messed with some security thingy, so maybe there will be an unlocked door somewhere. But not one of the password ones, and not the one that needed bolt cutters or whatever. I think it's this break room. So we have a map. There's a hasty sketch of a map made over pages from an old book. Lines are difficult to make out among the text. It indicates 3 buildings. I'm assuming they're buildings, with a web of lines going between them. The map marks areas around as well. Title has been written messily above the sketch. It says castles. I wonder what it means. Those torn pages appear to belong to the others you found so far. The story continues again. Paula had once again begun to settle in her castle. The same one. Routine of survival kept the dark out of her thoughts. But as her castle began to creak and buckle around her, just as the one before, and the one before that had, she felt it again beside her. If only you had reached out. If only you had done more than just listen on your little radio. Paula. You don't know what you're talking about. There was no one to reach out to. No one safe, anyway. That's why I'm here. The dark. You're going to die here. She seems to wait a very long time before speaking again. Paula. I know. The dark. And there's nothing you can do about it. Here, Paula starts to cry. Paula. I know. I'm afraid that is the last page in this batch. What a sad story. Well, it seems like this was written when Winnie was sort of giving up hope, giving in to the dark, and sort of realizing she was probably gonna die alone here in this communications tower. So yeah, they were talking about castles in that fiction page, and this map also talks about castles. Seems like there's 3 of them. So I think the password for that catwalk that we needed a password for is probably castles. Let's see if we're correct. Let's try castle. If we can spell it correctly. Castles. Oh, here's where that pulley system goes. I guess that's why they couldn't use the elevator, is because the elevator doesn't go up all the way. For the last floor, there was just a ladder, and it seems like there's a ladder here too, so they needed a pulley system in order to to get above where the elevators could go to. Let's go to main operations first. Well, look at that. Is that where the signal is coming from? That's it. Those terminals are the source of the signal. They've been manually networked in a sophisticated array so as to boost their processing power. That's interesting. I can read it from there. It's a distress signal like the one we were trying to send. Somebody beat us to the punch. Only, well, this signal is different. How very clever. How is it clever? Well, unlike our plan, this signal isn't trying to alert nearby shipping traffic. No, it's much more clever than that. It's actually a self-repeating and preserving signal. It isn't just a broadcast, but a kind of virus. One that attaches itself to wherever it lands. What does that even mean? How can a signal be a virus that attaches itself to wherever it lands? Okay. All it means is that we may have some options later, but for now, please continue to explore the tower. That's a standard issue energy tool. It looks like it only has a bit of charge left, but you can use it to open certain panels. Great, I know just the panel to use this on. But yeah, that whole thing about like the virus signal, why would you make your distress signal a virus? Because then once you get saved, there's still a virus out there that's like saying, oh, help me, I'm at whatever place. And it's just gonna keep replicating even if it's no longer relevant. There is another segment of that pulley system. It must have been very difficult to haul things up 2 floors with this. Yeah, it doesn't look like that sturdy of a pulley system. We need a password for this observation deck. But there's no hints. It just says it's locked with the password. Maybe there's something that can help us figure it out. So maybe there will be, but there certainly isn't just yet. Also, I can't seem to get down. Like, it lets me examine the pulley system. It doesn't let me go down the ladder. So that's not good. Oh, here we go. I found the 1 pixel of this. What? Okay, now it's saying climb down to fourth floor catwalk. Right at the bottom there, right? I hit the space button. It's like I'm examining the pulley system. But, okay. Finally, I've escaped from this hell. So let's go open up that panel that we now have the tools to open. I think that was all the way at the bottom of this tower, pretty much. And we'll see what's in there. Of course, it had to be as far away as we possibly could be from where we found this tool. Though the planet's landscape made it difficult, facilities used geothermal systems whenever possible to save energy. There used to be coils that dispersed the heat generated by the communications equipment and returned cool air. Judging by the destruction you've found so far, the coils aren't functioning and are buried under rubble. Yeah, it seems like a lot of things in this world are buried in rubble. Got a binder full of women here. That's a heavy-duty operations binder for some of the communications equipment used in the relay. It's missing its pages, but something is written on the cover. It looks like a radio code and the word William. Or Will.i.am, maybe. Winnie really liked that musical artist. A batch of pages are scattered on the rock floor. Looks like they fell out of something. They likely continue the story of the pages you've found before. These ones, though, are scraps and leaves from other books. Is that a saying? Scraps and leaves from other books. What I can make out says, after their last conversation, Paula didn't see the dark. For a long time, she didn't need to. Its words haunted her every day, and as her food and water continued to deplete, she began to wish it would show up, just for someone to talk to. Paula. I know you're there. You're with me everywhere now. Say something. But for weeks, she received no answer. Finally, as Paula lay in her newest castle, her final home, she heard its voice again. The dark. So you've admitted it, have you? To yourself, I mean. Paula. You don't seem very happy about it. What happened to being smug? The dark. I don't feel like it. Things are too serious. Paula. You're starting to sound like me. At this, the dark offered a sad smile and sat down beside Paula. All they could hear was the wind outside and the creaking of the castle. The dark. That's because I am you, of course. You know that, and I'm afraid our time has run out. Paula sensed how cold the dark was, and she felt her strength drain away like a small stream. So I guess maybe Paula died there? Like in her final moments, she spent them with the darkness, her old friend, her only friend, left at that time. So, I mean, okay, we found that page. That doesn't really help us that much. Got this binder that says William. I guess that's the crucial thing we found here. Because I'm guessing William is a password that we need. I think it's time we found out what's up on the 5th floor before this entire relay collapses. Yeah. Hopefully we don't get blown up like last time. And also hopefully we are able to make it down off that 5th floor. Because apparently the hitbox for going down the ladder is pretty small. Alright. password is William. Oh my, that room must be quite a sight. It's nothing special. It appears to be a desk constructed from a wall panel and 2 struts. There's a pile of field notebooks and quite a lot of pages. You know, those pages seem to have the same makeup as the torn pages you found. That, coupled with the writing instruments there, means those stories were likely penned there. Ah, so this is where the magic happens, where all the writing is done. And it doesn't seem like a room that fosters creativity, which explains the lack thereof within the novel. But, you know, whatever you gotta do to get your feelings out on the page, right? Got a terminal here. That terminal is in very poor shape. Though it has had many modifications added to it, it has since been disconnected and thoroughly vandalized for parts. I don't understand why someone would go to the trouble of setting up that terminal only to completely disable it. Well, when you need the parts, you need the parts. You gotta get them somewhere. That chair is rusty and old by colony standards. There are a stack of short novels beside it. From there, I imagine the view of the planet must be quite spectacular. Let's see. We can really only just see like some clouds moving in the background, but it may be on a... if there was better weather, it may have been a nicer view at some point. That shelf was constructed in quite a hasty fashion. It contains many physical books on various subjects, some of which have been written in extensively. I don't understand people who write in books. Like, when I was in school and we had to like write notes about a book as an assignment, like sometimes I would write in the book, write some notes in there in the margins or whatever, but only when I was forced to do so by the assignment. I feel like in general, why would you write in books? That's... no one in the future needs to see those notes you took. And maybe if you, for some reason, want to make notes for yourself to consult later, but why would you go back to a book and want to read whatever notes you wrote? That just... I don't know, I don't understand it. If you write in books and you like write notes in the margins or notes to yourself in it, please explain why you do it. I would love to know. I would love to see how the other side lives, and maybe it would help me expand my horizons and understand people different than myself in some small way. Looks like a empty med kit. There isn't anything left in that medical supply kit except for a few pills and a small portion of water. That's no colony equipment. That radio has been configured from a variety of parts. It's been made to pick up all kinds of digital and analog signals. There's nothing but static coming from its speaker now. How long has it been running like this, I wonder? So is this the radio she was using to eavesdrop on everyone's communications in in their last moments. So I guess this counts as examining her body. Oh, I'm so sorry. Based on my analysis, it looks like we found the body of Winnie Laurier. Judging by the condition of the corpse, she died about a year ago, in 2063. I'm just running this scan a few times to confirm cause of death. This will just take a moment. Just a moment. After these few weeks of seeing Miss Laurier in the Holosim chamber, is this difficult for you? I mean, still no. I think I'm honestly desensitized from seeing about 50 other bodies in the past, 2 weeks or so. So really, this is just one more body in the corpse pile, so to speak. I'll be okay. Grieving is a natural part of facing death. Please don't deny yourself this, even though the person you technically know is a fabrication. I mean, honestly, I'm friends with the hologram. I don't know this lady, so... why would I be sentimental about her? Well, I have the results of the scan. Based on trace materials and what tissue is left, I have determined that the cause of death was suicide by ingestion of medication. Yikes. She was likely very malnourished by the time she decided to take her life. It doesn't seem like there were a lot of food stores there, despite her efforts. She must have mixed several medications from emergency supply kits in the end. If it is any consolation, she likely died in a state of sleep. Despite how resourceful and clever she was, it seems that Winnie met with a most tragic end. I know it may not be much right now, but at least we were able to learn about Winnie's transmission virus. There isn't anything more you need to worry about there. Come on back home. Yeah, so it seems like she was running out of food and faced with the choice between starving to death or taking some medicine. I guess probably sleeping pills. She chose the pills, which, I think it's probably, honestly, the less painful and unpleasant means of dying. So, really, can you even call it a real suicide? Really, she was just trying to lessen her own suffering when she knew she was gonna die anyway. So I think that's pretty practical of her. But yeah, I mean, if anything, I respect that. She died in her own way, lessening her own suffering. That's just smart dying right there. So yeah, I think we've seen everything there is to see here. So let's go to the holodeck. Oh, Corey's got a thing for us. On one hand, we are very fortunate that Winnie realized her ingenuity and did what she did. Yet, on the other, she was apparently unable to cope with her situation. Such a tragic loss of a good mind. What unable to cope? I mean, like, yes, she was depressed, but you're talking like she killed herself because she was depressed. I don't get that impression. Well, let's go talk to her. I'm sure we will get some additional insight from hologram version of her. I feel awful for having to put you through this, you know? Put us through what? Telling all these holograms that their real versions are dead? I mean, honestly, it doesn't bother me at all. Maybe I should have that as a job in real life, just the guy who goes and tells people their family members are dead in a callous and unfeeling way. I'm sure it would affect me a lot more in real life. With today's revelations and the increasing instability of the planet, I know things are very stressful. I hope you can break the news tactfully tonight. Oh, you know, that's how I do it. All tact all the time. Tact Master 69, they call me. I wish your time tonight was under happier circumstances. I'll see you in the morning. Yeah, good night, Corey. Oh, you're back. I was just working on some new simulations for your ship. I'm still having a hard time with the deep space problem, though. Just can't seem to figure out how to replicate the range and strength of the comms tower array. I mean, you need to... I got 3 ways to start this sentence. I don't know that it really matters which one of these I choose. I'll start with her name. That's like a personal sort of touch. People like it when you call them by their name. Oh no. You found out what happened to me, didn't you? Okay, I guess just be honest with me. Oh, that's awful. I killed myself? How could I do that? How could I do such a thing? From what you described, it sounds like I was in a bad state. I guess I finally gave in, finally gave up. And yet, it seemed like for a time there I was so determined to survive, but I guess eventually that ran out. But hold on, wait a moment. The terminal array you say you found, that's perfect. That makes a lot of sense. Of course. That's what we can use to fix the ship. That's how we'll let you get your signal out after you take off. I can use the scan you made of the terminal array to come up with something similar for the escape ship. It's automatic, it's self-replicating, it's perfect. It's easy, it's breezy, it's beautiful, it's CoverGirl. I knew there was another way. It's not about sending the strongest signal. It's about using other ships and relays to do the work for you. I don't know, Winnie, it's pretty messed up to hijack other people's communication systems. Just like if your distress signal can reach their ship, they might help you. You don't need to hijack them. I don't know if I would have figured that out in here. I guess the other me, she was in a different position. She was desperate, hopeless. Even before, when Tower E was functioning, she must not have been able to stay there. Too dangerous, perhaps. Not livable enough in that place. So she tried to replicate the signal array from the other tower. And knowing that she didn't have the same equipment, she created her idea of a virus. I'll get to work on this right away, and I'll make sure the AI understands what we're planning to do. I'm confident you will get exactly what you need for your ship. But it's so tragic to have to come across the idea this way. It must have been hard for you out there. To be honest, well, it's still pretty difficult to deal with myself. Can we talk about something else for a while? Let me show you the new pages I found from the novel. Oh, it looks like you found more of those pages. What did these ones say? Just the Paula, or just Paula in the dark, hanging out, up to all sorts of wacky hijinks. Oh my, this story makes this all the more sad. Regardless of what happened to the other Winnie, she just seemed to suffer so much. It's almost like she knew what was coming, but kept on struggling anyway. What other option was there, really? But this story, this must have been her only way to understand what she was going through in the end. Think of it. There was nobody else around. What do you think of it? I don't know if I would call it sad. I think I understand why she wrote it. It was sort of like almost like a diary of sorts. I'm sure you do. You're in a similar situation now. Can we talk about something else? Well, we can talk about anything else. What do you want to talk about? Oh, I was hoping you'd... Well, okay, let's just talk. Oh, is that... You don't want to talk about whatever? Okay, well, I guess since I like stories so much, I'll tell you one. But you have to pick the topic. Do you want to hear about, let's see, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, or before I joined Hudson Cartier as an adult? Let's hear about your adult life before you were a space colonist. Alright, let me tell you about how I got this apartment. When I first looked at this place, I loved it. I knew I wanted it, but I could tell there were going to be lots of applicants. I worried about it for days. I just couldn't imagine what I'd do if I didn't get it, and I started to panic. Then I got an idea. Please don't tell me you murdered the other applicants for this apartment. I know the real estate market is competitive, but there's no need to resort to drastic measures. I hacked his phone. Nothing bad, really. I just wanted to see what I was up against. It turned out I was right. There was a lot of interest. I didn't know you were such a top-tier hacker, Winnie. So when I knew the deadline for his decision was up, I blocked all the other callers. Pretty simple, really. And then I waited until the end of the day. When I called in, he tried his best to sound like there was a lot of competition, but pretty quickly I got the place. Yeah, that's kinda scummy, honestly. Like, probably illegal, too. Honestly, wow. I'm stunned. Yeah, I know. It was probably an awful thing to do, but I just had to. Either way, I guess I'm here now because of that decision. Can we talk about something else? Let's talk about you. Only because we have no other choice. I know you didn't want to, but we gotta. Okay, I suppose. Some closure would be good in a way. I just want you to know, what you found, what the other Winnie did, I couldn't do that. Not now. You've been such an amazing friend these past weeks, listening to me go on and on. Maybe that other version of me, she just needed someone like you. Yeah, I'm sure she could have used somebody. She did seem to be very lonely and, yeah, I think having someone to spend time with may have helped her feel better about life. But I'm glad that I've been able to make hologram life better for you. I'm sure of it. I don't know how she could have lost hope, I guess. I don't think she would have. If she had known you. I don't really get the sense that I'm the sort of person that instills hope in people, but sometimes anyone is better than nobody, right? Well, this has all been a lot to take in, but at least now I know what I need to do, so the AI can complete work on the ship. In the meantime, well, I hope you'll find time to visit again. Before you have to go. Absolutely, you're our BFF. That's great to hear. I know you'll be busy for the next little while, but I hope you can make it back. Well, until then... I like that with when we just hang out in her old apartment, sitting on the couch. That seems pretty comfortable. Like, who's the person that you're closest to in life and who you value the most? That's probably the person that you hang out with and sit on the couch with and, just enjoy their company. You don't even necessarily have to be doing anything. It's just... you're enjoying each moment with someone on the couch. That's a good relationship. Anyway, so what did we do today? We went to the communications tower, found Dead Winnie, talked to Hollow Winnie about the situation, and now we're here. I think we've exhausted the options that Corey gave to us earlier in the week, so really we have no idea what tomorrow will bring, so I guess we'll find out. But until then, thanks for watching and take care.